We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Footy Abroad here on 4 of your favorite YouTube channels all at once. Can you believe that? It is Tuesday, the 10th of June, 2025. We are here, and for the first time in a long time, none of our teams lost, lads.
Oh, that was beautiful.
You'll take it. You'll take it.
I've basically just done the order of us on the screen in order of, top of the ladder to the bottom of our 4 teams. So,
Thank you
Sounds
very
good.
much for
Sounds good.
clarifying that. Yeah, I was confused as to why Swoop was on the top for some reason. So thank you for that.
is
Oh.
wait, is there a chance that Luke's there for the rest of the season? Yeah.
Is there a? Well, I mean, out of all of our teams, yes, obviously. They'd have to lose most of the back end of the season for either of our teams to catch up, I'd imagine.
We may never lose again, so who knows?
Well, that too. That's after the bye. Don't worry, you'll get the bye shakes.
yeah, we did
And,
last year. We went 0-4 after the bye, first 4 weeks.
Yeah. Who do you play after the bye?
Saints
There's
and
this
Eddie
team that probably should have been deported.
Deported.
I forgot what
Wow.
the name
Talk
was.
about subtle. Ouch. That
That should
hurt.
be good. We actually last year we beat the Roos by a point before the bye, and then lost our next 4. We beat Melbourne by a point before the bye. I don't know.
Interesting.
Don't know. Interesting. Just a little contrast. Yeah.
Very interesting. Matter of fact, I'm locked in St Kilda as the lock.
What
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
gonna say? It's done. And that was a good episode. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Be
Okay.
interesting. Be a good game.
You've given me some life there. Gents, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves and how our weekends were. Jake, you didn't play, so maybe you can tell us what you got. Maybe you can start, Jake. What did you get up to on your week off? You look fresh.
Thank you very much, Terry. Appreciate that. Hello, everyone watching at home. Appreciate you taking the time to tune in. I caught up with a good friend. He's down at
Football
What?
friend.
And stupid. got roped into going to the Carlton Essendon game. So I have to say that hurt to be there to see the Blue Baggers win. I was cheering. I'm telling you now. When I saw Essendon, I saw the red and the black. I just added the white shorts. I was seeing Saints. I'm telling you that. I couldn't believe when they went on a run how up and about I was. I was so into it. I guess that's football, isn't it? You can find an affinity, like a connection with the team that isn't yours, based on how much you hate the other team, I guess. But it was a good game, good shootout. Blues got the win. I didn't really learn too much about either team on the night, but good crowd, good game before the epic game yesterday too. So I watched a lot of football, did a lot of content because we play Thursday night anyway, so it doesn't feel like I couldn't really utilize the extra days anyway. So we've got the shortest bye period out of any team, just the 11 days. So I've been just prepping in advance for Sinclair's 200th, which hopefully is a good performance.
Jesus, 200. Sneaky
Yeah,
200.
Thursday.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bloody
So
hell.
that's kind of me.
Any thoughts on the Blues from your point of view? You want to share that maybe we're not seeing?
Oh, no, it's everything we've already talked about, and I know Carlton people listening at home are going to be like, "Oh, Jake's saying it, so it means nothing." But I'll tell you the truth: when you got 46-8 up, I knew that Essendon were going to get back into the game. I could feel it already, and it happened. You kind of went from playing attacking football to getting sucked into making mistakes and giving up easy goals. I mean, Essendon gave up easy goals too, but the second half seemed like they won 3 out of 4 quarters. So how can you be too happy with that? That's kind of how I saw it.
Trust me, nobody was happy.
Well, I was thinking of you and the fan cams after. I was like, no, I reckon most Blues fans will say, we'll take the win, but still shitloads to fix and to work on. But you just take it and move on to West Coast.
Mate, I think people were more mad at that win than some of the losses this year.
Really?
It was bizarre.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking, is that the sort of win where you're like, I'd rather we just lose that so we can rip the Band-Aid off, break the glass, and just go, this is what needs to be fixed. But it's like a paper over the crack win. Is that what you're implying?
Oh no. Well, I don't want to subscribe to what you just said because I think that's loser mentality.
Yeah.
But
as opposed to your mentality. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's St Kilda mentality. Yeah, just lose and like play for a draft pick, you know?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some of the fans, you just said some of the fans didn't like the fact that you actually got over the line.
I think I can sense some fans that want us to lose because they want Voss sacked.
Oh, so they just want a big reaction.
Yeah, they want the
reaction.
Sacking. They want the blood. They want the head on the stick.
And then what? You get who?
Exactly.
Like, I don't hear any big names, any
there isn't
up and comers.
Yeah, there isn't really any sort of like the last couple of years. There has been Bruce, like Ross Lyon when he was out. Maybe like what are the only two? Simpson and
No, there's Ange. There's Ange. He's up.
Big Ange. Big Ange.
That might actually end Pom if that was to happen. Genuinely, I've known Pom for a while now. That might genuinely be the final straw.
Pom's eyes have lit up there when I said his name. I'm a bit worried.
Oh dear God! Can't escape it. Can I? No matter what show I go on, just get dragged back into it. Oh dear! I wonder if leaving the gang's this hard.
Who are the Tottenham of the AFL? Do you think?
Oh come on! Just what is going on?
I think we've asked that question before.
Have we?
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Why are you trying to break me down? Look, it's Carlton, without a shadow of a doubt. There's the answer you want. We are Spurs.
That's that's all I wanted.
I'll give you what you want. Christmas.
Are we really? Are we really the Spurs? Are we really Tottenham?
Tottenham don't have a rich history in the past, though, do they? I mean, I should probably
aren't we like
United?
The whole
Arsenal in you. That's the Arsenal.
Aren't we like actually probably present United, probably present day United with all their goings on and stuff. The big well, you always talk about the head honchos always taking your club down and stuff, and that's what United are doing. So.
Yeah, like Sir Alex Ferguson, David Parkin, John Elliott, fucking what's his name? Busby, like the figureheads of the past.
That's an interesting one.
I don't think we're United. I mean, you can't compare Parkin to Fergie. Like, that's an insult to Fergie.
True.
Do you know what I mean? The gentleman won a lot of Premier League titles over a dominance in the decade. In that decade, I think his history in AFL is more convoluted than it is in English Premier League, isn't it? Because totally different. But it's more convoluted. You've got to remember a lot of Carlton's trophies were in a smaller era, less teams. More Victorian focus, more Vic bias, more money, things like that. I can see the similarities between Arsenal. I can see the similarities between Liverpool because people look at the history, but the history's secondary. I think if you look at how the team operates, we are very Spurs. Daniel Levy and Carlton's board would almost be brother and sister, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? When everything goes wrong, it's not my fault. It's the guys we hired. It's not us, though, but it's the guys we actually hired. And don't worry, we'll hire a new person. And Spurs fans are like absolutely deluded. They think that they deserve to be at the table with Chelsea, Arsenal. In their mind, they think we're at the big boys' table, but everyone's like, get these dickheads a high chair.
Yeah. Luke? Pies?
Yeah.
Still winning.
Mate. Still winning. Could have gotten a couple more free kicks, but we'll take the 29 and move on to move on to the bye. No, it was it was a good game. Like I went into that game thinking it would be 35, 40-point win, like just the way we've been playing over the last couple of weeks. And Melbourne really turned it into a shit fight, or not even a shit fight. They played really well, but our experienced heads, like that's why, at the start of the year when they said we were too old and why are you keeping Pendlebury and all these guys and stuff. At the end of the game, if you watch the last 5-6 minutes, it's Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Jeremy Howe, the older guys that are holding the ball and instructing everyone where to go. And that experience just pays dividends. And 6 points clear on the top of the table is a very, very, very nice place to sit leading into the bye. And what the thing that I'm loving about the Pies at the moment is that it's kind of unlike the 23 season. I feel like we've got different gears now where I say it on my show a lot, where we're kind of like a chameleon team where we can kind of just blend into what team we're playing. And it's not just one game plan all the way through. We sort of dissect what the team is, and like Melbourne want to overpossess the ball. We played an uncontested game a little bit more, kind of like what we did against Melbourne last year. I feel like everything's ticking along, and when we come back, we'll have Maynard comes back, so we're not even peaking at the moment, which is really good. Well, evidently from yesterday's game, Melbourne probably stole that in the end, to be honest.
I don't even know if Carlton will win 11 games this year, or St Kilda. Like, you guys have already done it.
Well, we won 12 games last year, so we're already one off our. We just got into the way, and for the start of the season that we did have with facing pretty much all the top 8 from last year, and no bottom teams yet until we played North Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. It's incredible. I don't reckon you could find one Collingwood supporter that had us even close to first on the ladder by the bye. Maybe top 8, but nowhere near first on the ladder. They'd be lying to you if they said they did.
Well, here's to hoping that the Saints can do it next week.
Yeah,
who knows?
Like, just to make it interesting at this point,
Yeah, you got to keep. What would happen? Brisbane play next week? Yeah, they do. Yeah. They haven't played for a while.
Jake, on this show after the Saints beating the Pies, like, I really want to see it. I just want to see what that looks like.
Yeah, but then Luke will sit back and he'll go, look at these abs and look at the ladder. That speaks for itself. That's what he'll do.
True.
They've always he's got the fallback. Even if both our teams, do you play them again? The Carlton
play them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if both our teams beat them, most likely chances they'll still be top 2. So he's got that annoying fallback.
Also, we had to drop those games. We have to drop the game against St Kilda. We have to drop the game against Carlton.
He's also got the old,
what's the ace?
It was your grand final.
Yeah. No, it'll be.
I love that one.
They'll just say it was, it's because it's at Marvel. Why'd we play St Kilda at Marvel for our home game?
Hey, we're playing back-to-back Marvel games. That's the boys are hiring a hotel in the Docklands, mate, for that fortnight. They don't want to make the travel.
Anyways, lads, let's begin, because I'm excited for this show and whatever's going to come up. Who would like to begin?
I'll
I've
start.
got a nicer. Go start. Yeah. No, go. You
sure? We can do rock, paper, scissors if you want, mate. I don't mind.
No. Go.
You can't win everything these days, all right? So we did talk about this guy before, and I know Pom's going to give me a look. But I was thinking about Ange Postecoglou before, but in a different light. So I've written it down here because it was quite a big thing. I was thinking about him and how he stamped his personal philosophy onto the way Spurs played, which kind of in the end was to his detriment. Part of the reasons why he probably won a trophy, but also got sacked and finished 17th or whatever it was in the league. But all the way through, he never wavered from his commitment to play a certain way. He stuck to his guns every single time, even if he could have played another way that maybe would have netted more wins and more safety and more money for him. He said, no, this is the way I play. I'll win trophies with it. I mean, he in the end did. So off the back of that, my question or questions is, A, Do you reckon an AFL coach's style is more an expression on their personality, or just what they think with the list that they've got will get the most wins? And B, if you were a coach today, what kind of brand of football would your team play? So that's my question. And I did write down, like, if I was a coach, what my core values of the team would be, and possibly like a team mantra, what I would try and follow, Ted Lasso style. So, yeah, that's my question.
Wow.
Sorry if that was a bit too much, but I just, got me thinking.
I think it's a great question. I think a great coach has a philosophy, 100%, and a great coach sticks to that philosophy and adapts it for his players. So I think to answer your question on that part, I know the Australian media are making Ange Postecoglou sound like he reinvented the wheel, but there is 100 coaches who are doing the same thing. Look at Crystal Palace's coach. He's come with a philosophy, totally changed the way they play. Ruben Amorim's playing 3-back, which no one plays. When Pep came, tiki-taka, possession-based football would never work in the Premier League. That was what they said never would work. No team goes at 60% possession in our league. Look at our success against these European sides in Europe. It's too physical. So I think great coaches do that. I think great coaches, though, Arnie Slot's mentioned in the comments, spot on, can adapt, though, to the personnel very quickly and find how to play their system with the people provided. In AFL, though, I find it hard. I think you're starting to see it now. Clarkson's trying to play Clarkson ball, but doesn't realise that the game's moved on. So my impression of AFL coaches is very few of them are intelligent in the sporting sense of the word. They have this, and that is the AFL as an industry, isn't it? We've always done it, so why adapt? And then someone does something new and it works, and they're like, oh, shit, we better copy it. So I don't think there's much innovation. I think it's starting to be. McRae, Fagan, very adaptable coaches. I think next couple of years we'll start to see probably more young coaches, but we're in that kind of transient period, aren't we, at the minute?
So what brand would you, as an AFL coach, would you instill in the team? What style would you play? Hypothetically, obviously.
I'm an old football man, so I still like a flat 4-4-2 and counter-attack football. So I'd like to play a counter-attack brand.
Yeah.
Be a lot of spread, a lot of width, a lot of two-way running, sit back, attack the opposition when they have the ball, force the mistake, heavy forward pressure. So incidentally, very similar to how Voss plays, with the sex appeal of how Adelaide play. Manic, get the ball game moving forward. Once we win it back, we go. So that's the kind of style I like to watch.
Yep.
I think to go back to your point A about the coaches and their sort of philosophies and stuff. I think Collingwood really saw that when Nathan Buckley came in. So there's that sort of like great players don't make great coaches sort of saying that everyone sort of says. And Buckley's, he was the fig jam, right, of the Pies and maybe of the AFL in the early 2000s sort of stuff. And you saw that in his coaching philosophy when he started. So it was that obviously going from 2 back-to-back grand finals to then the succession plan and then having Buckley straight away. And so you're already a little bit on the back foot. But Buckley was very much, if you didn't eat, live, and breathe football, you weren't going to make it in his system. And it took him, he had a lot of yes men around him when he was coaching. And it took him maybe, so 2012 he took over, 6 years, and we make the 2018 grand final. Yeah, probably took him about 5-6 years before he took a step back and said, hang on. There's obviously, we had a lot of premiership players sort of drop off, get traded, lose the love of the game or whatever it was. So there was obviously a rebuild in there, but it took him about 5-6 years to change his way of thinking. And then look what happens. We go on and make a grand final, a prelim, and then we go back to, for some reason it was working. Then we go back to it sort of not working. But that was his sort of philosophy. And it was the same. He coached the same way he played football at the start until it turned. And I think a lot of players, I've heard a lot of players say that thing, and that's where I'm sort of getting that from. So they do instill their own sort of philosophy, and we see like what Pommy said. Craig McRae has his own philosophy that sort of goes through, and it's a Ted Lasso philosophy. And we saw Luke Beveridge win a flag with that, wrapping your arms around the players, that very emotional sort of stuff. But what would my I think my philosophy would just be, I guess, like fight to the end. Like I love that, it doesn't matter if you're 50 points up or 50 points down, you just never leave. You have the next few days to rest. You just never leave anything out on the field. And I guess the way I would play, I like a quick game, a quick attacking game. I guess it is a counter attacking game. But on Pommy's point as well, how many times do we see, a team win a grand final, and then the next year, more often than not, teams are just copying their entire style. No one is individualistic at the moment. There is a couple of teams that do their own thing, but more often than not, they're just sort of same but different game plan knockoffs.
Yeah. It is a great question. This might surprise a few. I don't know. I don't completely disagree with the philosophy of Carlton's play because of the contested style. And when I watch finals football, it's usually more and more about one-on-one moments. I would just like our best kicks on the field to be on the half-forward line instead of in the back line. I think that's where our best kicks are. But that's not suggesting that Jack Silvani would then go back to forward or Saad go on the half-forward line or whatever. I think great coaches can only become great once they can absolve the responsibility and trust their players to take control on game day. And I think that's ultimately where Carlton's falling down. I don't think Voss can fully trust his players to be calm and collected when the pressure mounts. And that's what's getting everyone unstuck. The Pies have coaches on the field at the moment, essentially. Yep. Like a lot of people will talk about Pendlebury, but Sidebottom is he has the exact same trait. Like he's just as much of a coach on there as what Pendlebury is. So those high IQ players who have also gone through the ring of fire and played in big finals, and they've learned how to stay calm under pressure. So I don't know. Some days I feel like the Blues are not so far away. There's only a few little things from them clicking. Other days I feel like we're sprinting to the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, very cool. Very good answers. Very interesting.
So did you give us? You said you wrote yours down, right? Did you?
I wrote. What did I write? I said, play to attack to defend, always ask questions, toughen the contest, spread to the outside, enjoy the corridor, direct. That's what I wrote. And then I wrote my mantra, so like what we would play by, or I guess what would be always reiterated, which is, very stock standard, but I kind of value it anyway, is earn respect, demand success. So, no one's going to give you credit until you put in the work and until you start winning games. And success can be fluid. That can change depending on the team, right? Success. So it's kind of a vague term, but I still think you need to be looking at success in some light. And if you lose track of what that might be as a club, then you're in trouble. So that's kind of what I sat on. Yeah. Pom?
Mr. Bertone, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir. Do you feel like sometimes philosophy, like philosophy coaches sometimes get over praised for having a philosophy? So you mentioned Ange, he stuck to his guns. There's another philosophy coach in the EPL that I think gets a lot of noshing off with very little results, and that's not having a pop at you, but Mr. Arteta. Mr. Arteta is a very heavily philosophical coach that seems to get a lot of love and no one looks at it. Do you feel like sometimes that also appears in the AFL? So great example, GWS, Kingsley. He reminds me of the Australian equivalent of Arteta. Looks okay, doesn't really offend anyone. He talks a really good game. You listen to Kingsley talk, the guy talks in riddles, and he talks about his philosophy. But in reality, it wins jack shit. Do you feel that's also deceptive versus the old school doers like Ancelotti, like Ross the Boss? Not very sexy, but it does get you to a certain level.
Ross would he be the Mourinho? I mean, if he had won a flag, he'd be the Jose, wouldn't he?
He does look like the kind of guy that would go, respect in a press conference.
Yeah. I don't know if, that's a hard comparison. I wouldn't say that we would be the GWS or GWS of the Arsenal because it's a different league. I find it very hard to compare because we came from 8th and then we've been 2nd 3 years in a row. So the jump is there and it's just about kind of getting to the next stage. But I guess, you're right. The Giants have made a few grannies and not got the job done. But
I'll rephrase the question. Yeah. Do you think sometimes people who talk too much about philosophy and their style and their vision, sometimes that distracts from the guys who just get the result done? Like Ross is going to take a team at worst to 8th to 10th. He's going to get them solid at the very worst versus a coach who comes in and goes, I've got this philosophy, counter-attacking football. It's going to be all sexy, all bells and whistles. I think Kingsley gets less abuse than Ross does.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah, but it's because when they win, they look good. And when we win, we still don't. Well, supposedly we don't play the most. It's just whatever looks good on the tally to the neutral. So we don't look good to the neutral. Or we could probably try and keep the Dogs to 70 to 60 on Thursday night and we win. And it's probably our best win of the year. But people will say, well, you had to play this type of way. You didn't play like the Giants go out there and lose by 6 goals but kick 80 points. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not too fussed about what people think about the way we play. I just want to win. The Giants, they've got more pressure anyway, so but they're also the love child of the AFL as we talked about last week, so they're not going to cop that much hate, I don't think.
How did GWS get this weekend? I didn't check their score out. What did they do?
They went down to Port.
I was actually live for that game.
Are they still in the 8? Are the Giants still in the 8?
No, they're not, right?
Just out of it, okay. I think they're
just out of it. No, they're 7th. They're 7th still.
Yeah, see, they're officially on fraud watch for me if they drop out of the 8. I think any team, I'd love to be in their position, 7th at round 14. I think Carlton would too, so I can't jump on them yet. There's a long way to go. Form is fluctuating every single week, depending on the team.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I really wish you had that clip because the way you said it just didn't do it justice. Can you get the clip up from Dumb and Dumb? There is a chance. There's always a chance. Until there's not a chance, mate.
That's true. What if the Saints and the Blues make finals?
Then it'd be 2023 all over again, and that'd be a great sight. But we'd both have to go on at least, I mean, what are we? Maybe a game or 2 out of the 8, percentage-wise. I mean, our next 4 weeks is atrocious. So
we've never done a final against each other, have we?
No. I don't think there was even a chance in 23 to make. The only way we would have played each other in 23 would have been to make the granny, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I love the fact you guys just put these ideas into the ethos.
I know. This isn't even a topic. Terry's just like, imagine if we just made a grand final, man.
I've become Jake. I'm living in the hypothetical. Oh dear.
Jake is impossible to deal with. Like he's obsessed with it. He's going to make himself grossly unhappy. Like
me? Why?
No,
he's the
Terry.
one.
He's obsessed.
Terry, yeah.
There's got to be 100%. A way. There's got to be a way we play finals.
And see, I'm even worse because I'm encouraging him. I'm just like, yeah, of course they can, Tez. Of course, mate. Of course.
You know what?
Until the moment they don't, I'm like, mate, what were you thinking? I'm waiting for that.
Kill me for not wanting to blow the club up.
I'm the AFL media. I'll pump up a player just so when they play shit for 1 second, I can rip into them for 6 months. That's what I'm doing to Terry.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey man, success is the journey to the top is long and arduous,
100%. Yep.
Like Collingwood look great right now, but there's a story of a lot of pain to get to this point.
Yeah, and there's still a lot left to be told for the rest of the season. And this may, at the end of the season, Swoop might say that wasn't worth it in the end. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not wishing that upon. I don't wish that upon any team. They've earned the right. They're where they are because they play better than anyone else. So we have to deal with it. All right, moving on.
Luke, you want to? Great question.
Yeah.
Luke, you want to go for it?
I had a super simple one just from news today that the AFL has come out and they've rubber stamped it a 2:30 grand final time slot again. So I don't think we've ever talked about it before, but your thoughts on, are you a traditionalist with the grand final being during the day? I personally want to see a night or a twilight grand final because I just think it'd be absolutely incredible to see. Just for, I know we sort of got that. Didn't we get a sort of twilight one at Optus Stadium?
21, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Melbourne Dogs.
That was really cool. Melbourne Doggies, yeah. And I thought that was imagine that at MCG with 100,000 people. So when Collingwood win the 17th flag, would you rather it be during the day or during the night?
During the night, so you have less time
to celebrate.
Until I get to go to bed.
No, but traditional, or are you on the bandwagon of changing it?
Nah, I want it 2:30. I love the barbecue, and then leading into it as if you're not going. Like we're talking night if you go and it's great, but for the people that watch it at home and have lunch and then when the game's done to still have that much time left in the day to celebrate with the mate or go out. And then most of the time the club has the celebration the next day at their home ground at like 11 a.m. If it's a night game, no one's getting home until 5, 6 a.m. and then no one's going to the 11 a.m. celebration.
I didn't get home till 9 a.m.
200
in 2023. So, and it was the day game.
Did you go to the thing at 11 a.m.?
I went to the moon back. Yeah, and I went to the 11 a.m. one.
Oh, well, you're a nutcase. But the average person wouldn't do that. I think that, and I think for the the quality of football is better at 2:30 if it's a warm day. I feel like players stick their marks. It's a clean game. Like watching Sydney West Coast 05-6, like some of the best football I've seen. Like it's so clean, it's so quick, it's contested. Night games, the players always play like it's wet weather football. Like even Sunday night, you guys would agree. Like Carlton Essendon dropping easy marks, missing kicks.
We're just
ignore that part and just let me make a point, okay?
It was 10 versus 14th. Generally, they're at playground finals, to be fair.
Was it Zach Williams, was it?
Yeah.
It just went through his hand like it was bar of soap. I was like, shit. And that's night football. I think night football is ugly football compared to 2:30 on a sunny day in September at the G. I think it's just... And the build-up is so much better, I think. Yeah. That's just me.
Yeah, fair enough. Guys?
I don't really care, to be honest. Yeah. I don't have passion either way. I think from a viewership point of view, nighttime or twilight to nighttime makes better sense. Also, if you want to get the game and the eyeballs onto the world stage, nighttime is the way to go. But I love September Club, and so we can't have September Club unless the game's at 2:30 p.m. So, yeah.
What's September Club?
It's the party that the AFL put on outside the MCG. They put the marquees up.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can't have September Club if it's a nighttime grand final because, like, the liquor... It's a very sellout thing for me to say. It's actually quite disgusting.
Right. and this episode is sponsored by September Club. Get your tickets in the link below.
Yeah, it's a wank, but I love it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough.
Tommy?
He's got the ick big time here.
Oh, yeah, every now and again I do it to him.
AFL's for the people. The men of the people, and we're talking about a glorified cheese club for private school people. Jesus Christ.
It's like it's the who's who party, you know. It's great. Anyway,
I couldn't think of anything worse, genuinely. But yeah, I'm open. I understand the argument on the 2:30 time slot. I think the biggest time slot complaint, isn't it? You always get parents. The worst thing about being a parent, as a parent, is other parents who think the entire world should revolve around the fact that we made a lifestyle choice. Absolutely annoys me. You know, when you hear, "Oh, I hate night games because I've got to get me kids have got school." Don't have kids then, parent.
Yeah, exactly.
You made that choice. That's
just
the
don't go to the
sacrifice
game,
of being a dad. Like, do you know what I mean? Parents. So the only thing I would say is I've had the fortune of seeing most of the most beautiful stadiums, most of the beautiful sports in the world. I think there is something truly beautiful about the MCG at nighttime that I don't think any other stadium in the world competes with. And I hate to say it, Wembley, old Wembley as well, not the Massacre, that's the new one. Old Trafford, Ibrox, Anfield, none of them stadiums seem to come close to how beautiful that panned image, you know, of the Melbourne skyline. You've got the river, you've got the lights. There is something so beautiful, isn't there, about the G at the nighttime? So I think from a amphitheatre point of view, from a television perspective, I think the night game couldn't be rivaled. But I do think there is something. I feel like AFL loses a lot of tradition and keeps the stupid traditions. Do you know what I mean? Like as a foreigner to your game, the things that are beautiful about your game, you change. But then the argument of tradition comes in when it's something absolutely nonsensical. That makes no sense. You know, like the home games, everyone has a banner, everyone runs through it. And then someone suggests, oh, only the home teams. Nah, we've had that since 1892.
Yeah, we just talked about this. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but when we're talking about a nighttime game, let's try. Nah. It's always been 2:30. Nah. What? Yeah, and it's that kind of attitude, son. I'm easy, but I would love to see a nighttime game because I just think the MCG there's something. I remember staying up late to watch Boxing Day Test with my pop. It was like a thing in our house that we'd fall asleep, turkey coma, wake up to watch the first session of the Ashes. Boxing Day Test, and then you'd go to bed. And I always used to look at the MCG, and it was just magical to me. Just you've got this 100,000 seat stadium for cricket, an oval, massive stadium. It's gorgeous. So it's always been. It's like Mecca to me. I still get tingles when I go to the G, like walk round it. I still get that 7-year-old pom in me is like absolutely just amazed to see something so magical. So I'd love to see a nighttime grand final just once. Because
like like the prelims at night, the qualifying, you know, there's the 7:30 games, and obviously that's too late for a grand final. Like I understand that, and it'll be like a 5:20 game if anything. But yeah, those night finals are just, you're right, Pom. They're just something. It's just something else. It's just so beautiful, and like nighttime games are a bit like that, but nothing. I reckon even just for entertainment value with acts and stuff, like, well, you know, it looks pedestrian when you've got Kiss playing, you know, in the middle of the daylight with flat fire and stuff, singing about partying all night and, you know, rocking every day. Like, and there's just like, it's just green and blue and sun. Imagine that in an like an MCG amphitheater, 100,000. It's dark, the lights all go down, and then you hear the and then it just all lights up. I don't know, it's just entertainment value, but I guess that's Americanizing the sport sort of thing, you know. So
we're gonna get copyright strike there because you did that so well.
That was perfect. Yeah, that was perfect. Call me Star Child.
You know, great question here in our chat from Luke McHenry. Good Bombers man is Luke. Would there be an uproar if they changed the box? Like, I'm a big cricket fan. I wouldn't hate to see a day-night, which I reckon will cause some angst in chat. I think a day-night, a Boxing Day, would be a ripper, partly for a global audience. I know the Poms, there'll be millions of Poms watching the Ashes Boxing Day. It's a tradition in our house. But yeah, I think a day-nighter would be grouse for Boxing Day. I know it would divide the room, But I think that would be grouse.
Yeah, I don't really watch too much cricket, so
yeah.
I can't really comment on because does it get cut off at a certain time, the Boxing Day test? I thought it just goes all the way through.
Yeah, so you've got the session, so you'll start, 10 in the morning and finish like 5, 6 at night. But but the nighttime games, the Adelaide is usually the one that they do. That starts around like 2, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, goes on to about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, right. Oh, so you'd like to see that at the MCG?
Yeah, I think a day nighter would be grouse as the Boxing Day. I think it'd be sick. But then again, I'd love to watch anything. Nighttime, MCG, nighttime, something magical about it. When them lights turn on. Honestly, I still get giddy when I do the watch-alongs. It's a nighttime game. And they do that panoramic when it'll be like Collingwood versus Essendon.
Yeah, so good.
And like, there's a little bit of me when I'm watching it inside my head, if you could zoom in, is me as a 7-year-old going, this is brilliant. I still love it. Brilliant stadium. There's only 2 stadiums that do it to me, the old Wembley and that. They just do it to me.
And Marvel at night. You can't underestimate
You can't go past Marvel at night. You ever had a Garmy chicken at 8 p.m. at Marvel?
The best part about Marvel at night was when I was a kid and they had, the actual good like souvlaki place out the front.
Yeah,
now
at the
all
front.
those places are closed.
That was not there
I'd go there with my uncle, get that. I don't think they ever played games with the roof open, did they? Back in the day at Telstra Dome? Did they ever play games at night with the roof open?
Yeah, I'm sure they would have.
Didn't they change the rules this year to have it closed all the time, though?
Oh, that was 2 years ago, yeah. Yeah, they threw that out the window.
Wasn't that because Chris Scott had a sook about it?
Did he?
Probably.
It rained the night before. They run the AFL, so...
Chris Scott's my favourite human being, a good mate of mine. Quality, just sidetrack story, did a sales meeting thing. And Chris Scott was there to talk about achievement. And his text to me, I was like, how was it? Was he's just trauma dumped on us for 2 hours, basically saying the AFL hates Geelong because they think it's interstate. And he didn't learn anything about sales training, just trauma dumped on these people, basically saying the AFL is corrupt. Absolutely brilliant. Shout out Chris Scott.
Love it. I'll go next. I will finish with your game. My question is, what has been a time in your experience following your club, covering your club, with your channels, whatever, where you have felt your entire club most aligned? Like, what was happening? What were some of the characteristics of that when it all came together and you felt, wow, we are really all pulling in the same direction? If it was a moment, if it was a period of time, if it was a day, what was that for you and your clubs?
I can go first if no one wants to.
Yeah.
Jump up. I think the day that we sort of fell aligned was, well, for me anyway, it was probably halfway through the 2022 season. So when we instilled Craig McRae, we had just gone through that tumultuous period of changing, like the presidency and all that sort of stuff was going on in the background. Buckley left halfway through the year last year, finding a thing, and everyone was very, not knowing, because there was still names like Clarko, Lyon. There was all these big names that people wanted, and then we get this sort of no name in Craig McRae. And then you start seeing, and I've pulled up the fixture now, and you start looking at it, and halfway through that season, even from about round 10 is when we go on that 11-game winning streak or whatever it was, and it was those point games where we just kept winning by like small margins and stuff, and then you just kind of felt it wasn't tangible, but you could feel this electricity through the crowd wherever you sort of were lining up. And I think the point where I sort of sat back and said we're onto something special was the 2022 preliminary final against Sydney. So me, Dad, and my brother went to that game. That's the one that we lost by a point to the Swans. And I think why I say that was, for me personally, the sort of point where I sit back and say, hang on a second, this feels like something special is brewing, was because as Sydney fans were cheering and their song was going and was ending, all the Collingwood fans, where we were sitting, the stadium, they didn't move. It was the loudest cheer and clap for that, for the players there. They came over to us, and they just lost the prelim by a point. They came over to us, and it was just absolutely just incredible. It was an incredible feeling, almost like we won that prelim. And I remember going live at the end of it. I probably tweeted about it as well. But I had never been more proud of the club than I was right after that game. After everything that we saw that season, all the pieces were falling together. And the fans I've never seen the fans that loud and that happy after a lost game. Like, we just knew that there was something special about that club.
Wow. Love that.
Oh, mine. I've got one. I've got a clip, actually. It's very brief.
Oy.
But I might send it to you. It's just something Ross said. Like, they just asked him what it would mean if he won a flag. But it's just what he said. And there was more to it, but I remember clipping that. And that's one example of it. But it's probably when, even before he signed on to become coach again, and he kept getting asked about St Kilda and how much he still loves the club and what it means to him, but also the narrative behind it, like what people think of St Kilda and how he wants to change that. But yeah, you can play this anyway.
Yeah.
If it comes through.
One premiership for this famous club in its history. What would it mean to you to coach the Saints to a flag?
Well, without being too flippant, they say find a cause to die for, right? So theoretically, that's how important it is to the St Kilda community, and I'm not too far off that.
Awesome. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, pleasure to be here. Done a great job, guys. Thank you.
I just think, yeah, something like that to have a coach that you feel like loves the club or understands the fabric of the club because he's been part of it for so much. He knows the heartbreak. He knows how much it would mean to win something for the fans. And when you've got a coach that, can express that in less than 15, 20 words or something, I think that says a lot. He's not just there for a job. He's there to really finish what he started, but also to, I guess, write a new chapter for the club that he cares about so much. And it's probably the only job he ever was going to come back to coach. I think some of you boys have said that before. So that was one example. There was many others in 23, even like I said before he signed on, but also just getting him back for me as a fan and my childhood being full. And maybe this is just me being nostalgic, and sometimes, nostalgia is not a great thing, but looking back, and some of my best memories as a kid was the teams that he coached and having him at the forefront and backing us. And now with the club and what Bassett are doing and I guess challenging the AFL in so many different ways, that to me is, that makes me feel very connected to the club, because the fans want a club that fights for the club as it stands, and obviously fights for the fans to make the club as successful as it can be. So I think they're doing all of that. So, and getting Lenny Hayes, getting Brendan Goddard, who have been pretty good coaches in their own right. Like, they've gone through and done their training. I think that helps a lot. And Cozzy in the Danny Frawley Centre, there's a lot of that St Kilda flavour at St Kilda now. When you walk around and you speak to people and people that work there that are Saints fans, and they know the ins and outs as much as me, who I live and breathe it every single day for the channel. So when you can have that, that's when you feel connected. And if it was a game, if I could pick a game, it'd be round 22, I think it was 2023, had to beat Geelong to make finals, and we beat them. And that was when Marvel was full and everyone was just waving their Saints flags and going nuts. And so that was, as a game, that was probably when I felt connected. But it's what Ross says sort of on a week-to-week basis, which to you guys probably doesn't mean much, because you're not a St Kilda fan, but to St Kilda fans, like him saying what he said in that clip that I sent you, that cuts through. You know, that really does. That really does. Like to say, you know, to die for, and he's not far from that. I think that's pretty powerful words.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's not something that any coach will just say. I think he really does mean it when he says it. Yeah, so that's kind of a brief example of a time I felt really connected, and I still do.
Pommy, what's the most connected you have remembered the Carlton club, everyone being on the same page, even if it was for a fleeting moment?
You know what's quite sad? I think when I look at every club that I support, and that's been since birth, I could pick times that are beautiful moments like Swoops, where it's not about winning. Because I think that's really important about sports teams. You are an idiot. You don't really love your club if it's all about winning. Because it's something that transcends winning. It's like having a kid. It's like being married. You take them in their best and their worst, and the love stays the same all the time. It never goes high. It never goes low. Do you know what I mean? But with Carlton, I don't want to say 2023.
It's not it.
Because
I'm with you.
Because it's easy. We won a prelim. So I'd probably say Mozzle probably nails it. When we shaved the heads for Doc, I felt like that was probably the last time we're on there. It was probably the last time that I felt like this football club was something worth fighting for, was then. Where I genuinely, if I take that away, I don't think we've ever been connected. I think the club has always had large voices that make the club about themselves and link that loosely to winning.
Mate, that is 100% my answer as well. When it was something so greater than football. Like it transcended winning and losing. It transcended, I mean, thousands of supporters shaved their head. Like maybe even tens of thousands. I don't know how many, but there was just so many. And I'm glad you mentioned that part about not just wanting to rely on 2023. That was good because it was winning and all of that. But yeah, that's one of the few times I have felt full connection to something greater. So
I remember that as a Opera supporter.
Yeah.
I don't remember the year, but I remember that whole sentiment, and that was even outside looking in, that was just incredible. It was incredible. Didn't you shaved your head too? Didn't you test for it?
Yeah, we both did. I mean, I both did. I did a live stream, and this was like, I mean, I know I shave my head now. I can't tell you. You couldn't pay me enough for me to say, yeah, I'll shave my head. I was like so vain about my hair.
Mate, me too. Me too.
Yeah. So no, we all did it. Did it in this room. Pommy did it as well. It was just it wasn't even a question. It was just like, let's absolutely get behind it. This was also after 2021, where we had come off a disgusting year, external review, sacked another coach, yada yada yada, and then Doc has the news happen to him, and it's quite sad because Doc doesn't get the same love as what he did back then, and like obviously things move on, and it's about performance, and I understand that to an extent, but yeah, that's my question.
That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
Pommy,
I'm completely depressed. Oh, that was good.
Sorry to remind you about how fucked we are.
No, you know what? It hits home because like you didn't ask me how my weekend was at the start of the show. Everyone forgot about Uncle Pom.
Sorry, bro.
I told you that on the rating show, just like how I had a cry when Hull KR won, because like that was the first time my pop, who raised me, felt at home in the north of England. He always felt like a foreigner until they won in the 80s. And you know what? That question's linked with the only time that I ever felt like I wasn't a Pom talking about football. I was someone talking about football. And I've never felt like that since we shaved our heads. Ever since then, in my own fan base, I've always felt like a foreigner from that day. I've never felt welcomed en masse I've never felt connected to the club en masse, because that was probably the only time people loved the sport and being together more than they loved themselves and the arrogance of being Carlton Football Club with a big history. It became, as soon as that cancer thing went away, everyone was all about Carlton have won 16 flags. We need to win 17. This is more important than anything else. And you just can't be connected to that, because success is fleeting. The club is forever. So it actually made me a little bit sad. I don't feel it. But anyway, fuck that. Who wants to hear about emotions? Peter Nutt doesn't want to hear about emotions. Because, as Peter Nutt says, emotions are for cowards. So we've got to listen to a guy that's named after a slang word for ejaculate. So let's get on with it. Welcome to this week's edition, and we are calling this week's edition of your weekly Whose Stat Is It Anyway? We're going to call it, Kick It To Me, Baby. What we're doing in Kick It To Me, Baby is we are looking for the players in the midfields of all the football teams, the top 10, who rank elite for kicking, and also... So elite for kicking is over 65% in the AFL as per Champion Starter kicking efficiency, who have the highest percentage of their touches resulting in a score involvement. So in some kind
Jesus.
So there is a little bit of help that Uncle Pom provides, because he loves chat. And he loves his fellow panel. So you will see we have got 1 to 10. We have got that. I've given you how much of the percentage of their touches results in a score of some kind. And then you've obviously got their club. And we're looking for starters version of midfield.
Quick question.
All right.
Anything.
So some of these like bar graphs are going further away, even though the numbers are lower than.
That's just me hiding the names, mate. Because
Hey, well, that gives me a clue, because we know there's some long names. Okay.
Can I kick it off? I think,
mate, we'll start with you, Jake, please.
Okay. I'm gonna look silly, but I'm gonna say Ed Richards.
Ed Richards. It's not Edward Richards.
Damn.
Jake, Swoop, would you like a go?
Two Collingwood players.
Well, there is two of your players. This should be quite easy.
No, well, I know. I don't reckon it's Nick, because he's disposal efficiency isn't that good. Actually, I may as well just say the obvious one. Is it Nick Dacos?
It is not Nick Dacos.
Is it Ned Long? Is Ned Long one of them?
It's got to be.
It is not Ned Long.
Oh,
really? That's what would be my second guess. So these are just pure midfielders that champion
I will give you a clue. The
mids?
first two on your list, 1 and 2, are what we would classify as wingers. And if you look in the Pommy and Oz chat, helping you out.
Oh, bro, Josh Dacos.
winger.
Josh Dacos, negative.
Yeah, because he's off halfback. What about Jack Crisp?
Nope.
Fuck me.
Side bottom?
Look in the Pommy and Oz chat. They're helping you.
I'm not looking at the chat.
We're trying not to think.
I don't want to spoil it.
I'll give you a clue. Number 1 on this is a Doggies player who was a VFL player for Richmond, who came in as a mature age draftee. We know him at Carlton because he tore us apart.
I know the guy, but I don't know his last name starts with D, doesn't it? Davidson?
Bailey Dale?
Is it?
Yes, well done. Sam Davidson is number
Sam Davidson.
1 in this. I'll tell you what, this was harder than we thought. I didn't think it was going to be this hard for you guys, but it was. Well done. Sam Davidson. 34.6 of his touches result in a score.
Jesus.
Is one of the Collingwood ones Hoskin Elliott? Or has he not played
It's
enough
not.
footy? Okay.
I'll give you a clue. Okay, this guy here, number 2, has been said repeatedly in all your chats now. Much maligned.
Patrick Lipinski.
Yes, Patrick Lipinski. A staggering 30.2% of his touches result in a score.
He was unreal 2 weeks ago, I think, from when I watched, from memory.
Yeah.
Every disposal was amazing.
Shout out Luke McHenry as well. He was screaming Lipinski in our chat.
It was really, we really missed him yesterday. It's shithouse going forward.
Would I say he's quite funny? I do a lot of Collingwood games, and for some reason, people abuse Lipinski.
Yeah, he's the new whipping boy. But
really,
he's actually Lipinski, because there's not really anyone else that they can whip. But Lipinski's always the one where it's like, oh, we need to drop someone. Let's drop Lipinski. I reckon I've even said it once or twice. I'm just reading the comments now. Shout out to Ray J. Teresa said it as well. Well done.
Okay, and the Gold Coast guy, arguably their best player for a long period of time, since overshadowed by Rao and Anderson, but was a one-man band.
Took Miller?
Yeah, spot on. Took Miller. 27.7% of his touches result in some kind of score.
What about
GWS?
Lucky Ash?
I hate GWS, but there's probably one likable person on their list. And
Lucky
this
Ash?
is him. It can't be Lucky
Likeable.
Ash. Likeable. David King claims he's the best player in the league.
Oh, not Finn.
Oh.
Recently had an injury.
He didn't play against the Blues, did he?
May never see him again.
Oh, Callum Ward.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
That's a
Callum
Ward
Ward, since moving up
that.
to the wing and pinch hitting in the midfield, 27.6% of his percent of his touches result in a score. This one is going to fascinate you, because this is one of the things that we can hang the media at the minute with. But this gentleman, since returning back to the midfield in round 3, has averaged 27.3% of his touches resulting in a score.
It's not I didn't hear.
And the media slate him, probably the most scrutinised player in the league at the minute.
It's not Kelly, is it?
Who?
Tim Kelly.
Tim Kelly.
No. Nope.
It's not Harley.
Yes.
It's not Harley Reid, is
Really?
it?
Harley Reid, 27%.
No way.
It is, yes. And what will surprise people? People slate this guy, but just passing the kicking efficiency of 65.2%.
Wow. Is Nick Martin the Essendon player?
Nick Martin. Where's my master sheet? Oh, I've got too many sheets, haven't I? Is Nick Martin the Essendon player? No, he's not. Clue here, Terry, is it's the county just north of where I'm from, is his surname. That's state to you and me.
It's not Sam. I don't even know what you're thinking of.
You're
but
right.
I was going to say Sam Durham.
Sam Durham, yes.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
Sam Durham.
Won't be kicking it for 2 weeks, unfortunately, now.
He was, but Sam Durham, 24.2% of his touches this year have resulted in some form of score. I'm shocked that your entire chat has told you who this Collingwood won. And if you asked me blind, I would have said this guy.
Is it Pendles?
It is Scott Pendlebury, even at his age, tracking 27% of his touches result in some form of score.
Pommy, is the first Hawthorn player Massimo D'Ambrosio?
It is Massimo D'Ambrosio, 24.3% 98% of his touches resulting in a score. 7, Fremantle. Potentially. Yep. Sorry, Terry.
Brayshaw.
It is Andrew Brayshaw. One of the few players on this list that feature that have over the AFL elite time on the ball in the furnace. Phenomenal to have 26.1 of his touches becoming a score.
I reckon that last guy has to be Will Day, a player that Hawthorn are absolutely missing.
It's not. This one will
It's
shock.
not.
This one
No
will
way.
This one will shock you. One of the few people to feature on this list that has played every available position in the midfield this year, including tagging in a couple of games as well.
It's not Warple, is it?
Nope. You're in the right purview.
Josh Ward.
Yes, Terry. Fantastic.
He's a baller. He's a baller. Yeah, he's an absolute
Josh Ward.
Joshua Ward. Some people just missing out on this list just by Fleas Willies. Bailey Williams would be next on the list. Harry Morrison. Harvey Langford is the only rookie to feature on this list from Melbourne. Surprise Ed Langdon, who was being deployed as a tag last game. There. Jeremy Sharp, Ollie Florence in his midfield time. Xavier Lindsay at Melbourne. And the only one to feature that's played not multiple figures of games, Christian Miraz at Port.
Not a
good one.
Not one Carlton player, unfortunately.
Not a single Saint.
Unfortunately,
I thought Jack McRae would have been a smoky, but maybe not.
He does get a lot of ball doing not much though, doesn't he? No offense to him, but getting it out that goes against you.
Need to play Naz up the ground, and then he probably gets on that list. But he's too good at halfback.
Who's 69th on that list? We can find out. Give me a sec.
That would have to be Hugh McCluggage.
Look at you guys having a bit of fun.
Huge McCluggage.
Let's have a look.
Actually, yeah. While we're at it, who's the Carlton's best player in this regard?
Have a guess.
Sam Walsh.
Nah.
No. It's really bad. To be fair,
Is it like Charlie Curnow?
No, remember, only midfielders accounted for this.
Only midfielders. Is it George?
It is indeed. George has a worse kicking efficiency than Adam Chera, but far more score involvements per touch, which it's not what you want, is it? We love George, but you don't want George, the man who's been the KDB of the fucking Carlton midfield.
Fuck, man.
Well, no game that. So
that was great.
Yeah. Good. Well done, Pom. That's that risky one is interesting. Can you? I might pinch that stat off you after this chat.
I'll send you the hard data. So yes, 69th. Let's do it. Sorry,
just
chat.
put a big credit on it just for any other
100%.
No,
I'm actually going to send it straight to SEN's producers just to see.
69, believe it or not, right? So once it gets to that, we are below professional kicking efficiency. So then it's starting to order it by who's a better kick. With 60% kicking efficiency, Marcus Windhager at St Kilda. He is number 69.
Really? Windy.
You know what? I knew I liked Marcus Windhager. I like him even more.
He's a legend.
He's number 69.
Gun. He's a gun. Very nice.
All right.
Your best, if you're interested, Hugo Garcia.
Yeah, even as the sub last year.
Games, so it was very Harry Morrison being in that. Less games in the midfield. You've obviously got more chance to get a higher score percentage.
Yeah. Two youngsters.
Well, lads, something very magical happened last week. Do you know what it was?
Carlton won.
Well, no. Carlton won while being my lock of the week for the very first time.
Oh, there you go.
Pom, I reckon you put Port last week.
Yeah, I think it was Port, actually.
You did do Port.
What the fuck did I do?
I had.
I didn't do it in my actual normal tips, though. I completely fucked myself.
I think I did.
Luke, I reckon you did Adelaide.
I think I did Adelaide, didn't I? Oh, no, I
No,
did
I think
Richmond.
I
I did Richmond.
Yeah, I think I did either Adelaide or I said Gold Coast. I said Gold Coast at the Cattery to get their first win there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So by that logic, Pommy, you can go first. Lock
You know
of the
what's
week.
sad about this, Terry? You won't have seen it, but the live the other week, we were that bored.
Yeah, I heard about this, by the way.
They made me do a ladder predictor, and can we just congratulate chat because they lulled me in. Round 23, Carlton were 10th, but they had secretly conspired to themselves to give Carlton the win against Essendon, which shot us into finals. After 6 hours of me going, you guys are amazing. Like, well done you for not taking the piss and manipulating the ladder. And I was a complete victim, Terry. Because before I knew it,
you've done the full ladder predictor for the rest of the season with your chat before I did. I usually just do the next round.
Yeah, I only carried on because the Carlton fans were behaving and we weren't like 2 and 4 in the next 4. So I was like, you guys are really good. You're taking this serious. But lo and behold, the tip was me. I believed him.
So who is your lock of the week?
My lock of the week is... I'm not taking Carlton because it's obvious. I am going to take Adelaide Crows, Pete Linless, in the fire that is the Emerald Isle, Adelaide to beat the Hawks.
Wow. That would be massive.
Yeah. They just stole their win, didn't they? Hawthorn last week? Or am I making that up? Last round, sorry.
No,
no.
Big win last week.
They were bigger. Yeah, they were the better team. Yeah. Ooh.
Damn, Carlton by 60 points. Not a bad margin.
Yeah. We're all agreeing on that, right?
Yeah, no, Carlton will win.
I want to go Saints, but I know that I'm going the Saints next week, no matter what happens on Thursday night.
Terry, use the trust.
What's the trust?
Well, you tipped Carlton to win, locked it in, and we won. Keep this up.
Oh, well then, you know what? I think I might.
We've broke the curse somehow.
Oh,
Blues. Oh, but I feel like that's a cop out.
No, because give it a stupid margin. Make it come true.
No, I'll pick another game because I think we're all going to tip Carlton unless Jake wants to get funny with me, in which case...
I would tip Carlton.
If we lose 100% on Terry, changing what works.
You'll win, but 10 goals, I'm not sure about that exact margin, but you'll win. You'll win.
Okay, I'm going to
It'll be 35 points.
81.
Lock of the week. Wow, this is a weird one.
It's a weird week.
Where's the shocking upset? Oh,
Melbourne. Melbourne will beat Port.
Oh, that was my lock.
Melbourne have been good against the Pies.
They've been really good the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, apart from when they played us, but yeah.
Yeah, kicking 112 that half.
Yeah, that's why they lost.
Dogs. The Dogs will beat the Saints.
He's tipping the Dogs. He's tipping the Dogs.
I mean, he's tipping the favourites, so it's hardly a
Sam Darcy's back as well,
choice.
right?
Is he?
Yeah.
That's what they reckon.
30-goal loss inbound.
Jack McRae's back. It's okay. Stock is
if
back.
That's the case.
Really?
I'm going to go the Saints. Yep. Synergy, Darcy back. They don't know. Are they relying on him? Are they not? Yep. Also, McRae's back. Gives him a little bit of spunk in the midfield of the Saints,
That was a plot twist I did not see coming.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
What's their form going into this game? What are they like?
They've lost 2 in a row.
They've lost 2 in a row. Okay.
Lost 3 of the last 4.
Have they? Jeez.
Yeah, but they just always turn into prime Bulldogs against us for some reason under the roof. They play a crazy amount of just good footy there against us.
Not this week. Not this week.
Hopefully not.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mateus is ready to be put into the midfield. No?
No, he's not going to play. No.
Ah, damn it.
It'll be.
I stand corrected.
It'll be McRae Stocker in. That's what it'll be most likely. Maybe Viking. Maybe this is a surprise debut and the Flying Viking gets Thursday night call.
The Flying
We'll see.
Viking.
He's got to play at some point.
All right. Luke.
Yeah, you highlighted it. For some reason, my gut's telling me that the Giants will beat the Lions at the Gabba.
That's got nothing to do with Brisbane not trying to catch Collingwood at number 1.
No. I definitely think that's the Giants will beat Brisbane.
Interesting.
They're I don't know, the media's sort of getting into them a little bit. And they're on Pom's fraud watch. I just think they'll beat them up there. I got no rhyme or reason.
Okay. Jake, you had the D's to beat Port. All right.
Yeah, let's go that.
Yeah,
I was going to say
really...
maybe Essendon over the Cats. I can see that happening, but I don't know. They've not been bad. They played well against Brisbane a few weeks back. They they were all right considering
half their team out as well.
They've got no back line, but I can see Jezza Cameron just getting off the chain at the G.
100%.
Going absolutely nuts.
Kick 12 goals.
Yeah.
Who's their backman? Who's going to play on him?
Hey?
They'll put Redmond back in.
They'll put Redmond back in on him?
Yeah.
I'll bookmark 10 goals then.
All right. So, wait, are we... Okay, we can all just tip now. Are we all tipping Geelong?
and Freo.
Geelong.
Yeah.
Geelong,
Freo for sure?
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't fun. So you're... Okay, well...
Does the ladder not move?
It does.
Pretty much.
Brief. Actually, yeah, Dogs.
How
Carlton,
far are we
Saints.
off 8th, Terry? I can't see on that screen.
Just
2
games. 2 games. But...
Not bad, eh? And next week you get North Melbourne. Fuck, it couldn't be even more perfect for you.
Wait, you're saying...
It's a tough
draw. It's a tough draw, Luke.
Port Adelaide as well. Holy shit. Holy shit.
And then you'll you're just soft. This is stupid now. This is stupid. Far out.
Oh, I hate my life.
The pressure's off the Blues at the moment. They'll win the games they should, and we know what happens.
Hey, you guys went on a run in 2023 when you were 13th in the ladder, made a prelim.
Man. All I'm saying is
anything less is a failure.
Is that like actually an argument that people believe in, where they're like, "Oh, we did it 5 years ago, so we can do it again"?
Let me set the record straight, okay? So for all you little opposition supporters that we are so traumatized as a fan base. We're just clinging on to anything at this point.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it, okay? We just want to have fun and enjoy football. And this is at the moment the only way.
I wish I could add backing. Can you say that again, but add some soft backing music as you do it? Believe.
See what I've got here.
Do that. Can you get the Robbie Lyle up?
You know what's hilarious?
We're gonna do this.
Should we
do that, please?
You know what's going to be shit though? Think of it from a Carlton fan's point of view. That should we make finals, everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course they should have done. They played Eagles twice, and there's going to be literally no credit that we have completely bulged up the easiest start to the end.
Yeah.
Would you take making finals and then bowing out like last year against the Lions? Would that actually be a tick for you guys though? Genuinely?
No.
If you just got smashed in the first elimination or something, is that a successful year to you? Just because you made finals?
Are you winding me up, or is that a real question?
No, well, we're just talking about making finals.
Now,
I'm not hearing about winning finals, but I just hear making it. I'm just saying if you make it and then lose a final and you're out, is that still a good turnaround considering where you started? Because you started 4 games back. It'd still be good to make it in the first place, right?
I believe we need to play finals football because that is part of the process to winning a premiership. I don't think we're going to win the premiership this year, but this group needs premiership finals experience if there's any chance of one day winning a flag. And so that's why I place a big, big premium on getting to the finals. Also, there looks to be some new teams into the finals race that don't have experience in finals, such as the Suns, such as the Crows. You never know. Finals on any given day. You just,
Yeah. Freo as well, I guess.
Freo. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't winding you up. I was just like, you came back from 4 games, so it'd still be quite a push to make it.
There's only a few sounds that I've got here that can maybe relate to like Carlton. One is...
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know what I was thinking? Do you remember, when Luke Skywalker returns to Tatooine and sees the burning corpses of his uncle and his aunt?
Yeah.
I had that music in my head as he was on that monologue.
I'd love to know what our weekly soundtrack or theme song would be, depending on the result. Mine would just be Seinfeld every week.
Like deep down, there's like a never-ending pit of disappointment and it's all falling down. I'm just trying to honestly just get through to the end of the year and hope that
cling on to anything.
When's the magic going to happen for the good? We've had a dick pic, we've had all sorts of shit go wrong. So
yeah, well, Dan Gorringe reckons you guys are rising from the grave. So
but he's a knobhead. He's just doing. He's the worst because he just does this. But he just pretends to be up and about for the coin. There's no genuine love for the football club. He's making an ass of himself to raise his bank balance.
Hey man, if we lose, he wins. If we win, he wins. So
he wins.
Yeah.
That was one of my favourite references this week. It's been that bad. I've seen the man's dick. That's a quote from the 80s from Terry.
It's just you put so much effort into something, you give your life to something, and you see something so piss-takey happen, and you're like, what are we all doing? Anyway, whatever, guys. Hey, that was a really good show. I really enjoyed it.
That was fun.
Yep.
Good
absolutely.
fun, guys.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah.
Appreciate it on Tuesday night.
And, hope your teams all win this week, guys. How about that?
I mean,
that's a good
if we win, you as a Carlton fan, you'd want us to keep the dogs as low as possible, right? That would be important, for a win-loss sort of perspective.
I'm not looking at the other teams just yet. I'm still trying to figure out how Carlton gets its shit together. But I guess you're right. But, you guys are in the hunt. You're in the hunt. You're in the same bracket as us. That 7th to 13th is all 1 or 2 games apart.
Yeah. I don't know. And next month is very tricky. 4 top 8 teams. It's going to be interesting.
Just a week at a time.
Week at a time, guys.
Don't. I think that's the
I'm
way
thinking Collingwood in 2 weeks. Bookmark
You
it.
do what you want. I'm more
It's gonna be
talking to
fun.
Terry and Carlton fans. Just a week at a time.
We're in a
the only way out of this is fighting.
100%.
We've lost our officer. We've got on Normandy Beach. The guy who's leading us head's falling apart. Right? Fucking
Oh my god.
one of us has forgotten to pack the mortar shells. The Nazis are over there. We've just got to fucking take it one bunker at a time on our way to Berlin.
Block the.
It helps that
please.
your next 2 bunkers are West Coast and North Melbourne. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Someone please.
We're lucky. We've got the all due respect special ed Nazi bunker.
You got 2 buys. You got 2 buys coming up.
Do you know what I mean? And then we've got the just able-bodied one. But then we've got a proper bunker, the Collingwood one. Do you know what I mean? We've got the proper one. But we've just got to take it bunker by bunker. We'll eventually get to Berlin.
Someone, if there's a IT nerd or a hacker in the comments, please get access to Terry's ladder predictor URL and block it. I think he needs it. I think we all need it. I think it'd be really helpful if you could please do that if you're out there. I will pay you. DM me. It'd be great.
Hey, what's going to happen to Footy Abroad when it's only Collingwood in the finals this year?
Well, then I'll just go on a
Hang on a minute.
point.
Coming from you, mate. You have a video with the fucking ladder predictor out there, mate. What are you talking about?
Me?
Yeah.
Pre-season, mate. That's when you do it, buddy. And then you park it and you let it be.
Look at him.
Hey, we always get to the end of the show and we're all mates and we all have a good time, and then it goes for that extra 2 minutes when I'm delirious and wanting a tea, and then we lose it. So let's just
we get the
put the curtain down. Yeah, we get the
I'll
Zoom.
never forget Jake looking me in the eye on that camera going, "Spirit of 1966."
When did I say that? What?
I'm the ladder predictor.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Terry, didn't he?
Yeah, just like 1966. Yeah.
Yes, you see.
Well, yeah, when I said we'd beat Collingwood, didn't I say we'd beat them by a point like 66?
No,
oh, okay. I was probably reading a comment again. You always get me on this. I was probably paraphrasing.
Always a comment.
He's reading the chat. He's reading the chat.
I don't read the... on this show, I don't. Because I know it'll be detrimental to my mental health. So I just put it on the side. I don't even look at it until you read it for me.
All right.
Anyway.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.
There, guys.
Go Saints.
Go Pirates.